This short video reveals a secret to make a girl fantasize about sex with you 24/7 until she loses control and fucks you. The man who you're about to meet was nearly killed by an undercover agent while searching for this secret. This is classified information, so in order to continue, you must agree to 3 simple rules. Number 1, use this information ethically and honestly. Number 2, never use this on any girl younger than the legal age of consent. And number 3, do not share this secret with anybody, under any circumstances, especially not any women. Agree? Okay, let's get started.
You use these phrases to make a girl horny, and I kill you. The most dangerous man in the world whispered in my ear. I felt urine run down my leg. He pushed his Beretta 92 pistol against my forehead. I felt a wave of shame wash over me as I realized that I was going to die for nothing but pussy. There I was, lying in a puddle of my own blood in a disgusting warehouse in Ukraine, completely at the mercy of this brutal 69-year-old double agent, Vladimir. I stared into his deep, green, emotionless eyes and finally understood why one small government in Asia called him more dangerous than a nuclear weapon. Was it because he knew how to kill people? No, though he certainly knew how to do that. It was all because of a simple secret that he knew. 7 government-tested, rejection-proof phantom phrases specifically designed to be used on women. Secret phrases that psychologically overwhelm her, make her give up her deepest secrets about her government, feel a burning, uncontrollable desire to give up her soaking wet pussy to you. In mere minutes, I almost killed myself to learn these secret phrases. They were about to cost me everything. My job, my friends and family, but most importantly, the girl that I went through all of this for, Chelsea. I was about to die just because I was so horny for her, just because I wanted to fuck her so badly, just because I desperately wanted to make her my girlfriend. I got shocked out of my thoughts as the butt of his gun struck my cheek. My body went numb and completely limp. I accepted my fate, death. Blood ran out of my mouth as I muttered my last words. Chelsea, she was all I ever wanted. What? Vladimir demanded. Chelsea. He pulled his gun back slightly and asked, "What are you talking about?" As I weakly looked up at my executioner, decades of pain and agony with women rushed to the forefront of my mind. Warm tears poured down my cheeks. I mustered up what little energy I had left, and I told Vladimir everything. I told him about how I was voted least likely to ever get a girlfriend in my high school yearbook, how I was ignored and rejected by every woman I met in my 20s, and how my first girlfriend cheated on me on my birthday and then laughed in my face when I asked her about it. And then I told him about Chelsea, the most beautiful girl I'd ever met, the girl I was madly in love with, the girl I would die to have for just one night, but who always told me, "I just see you as a friend," and insisted we never make things romantic. Vladimir, I came to you because I want the power that you have. I came here for the phrases. Please, don't kill me. Please, just teach them to me so I can have Chelsea and be done with it. He paused and looked me up and down. Was that pity that I saw in his eyes? Finally, he said, "I think you are a good man. Maybe I am quick to judge, yes? But I am sorry. I cannot teach this to you or to anyone. Now, you must leave." My head sunk. I got up and I limped to the door. I'd failed. I'd wasted thousands of dollars on a flight, only to completely humiliate myself in front of an international legend who I had boyishly looked up to. Over the following weeks and months after I returned home, I tried my best to forget Vladimir. I pretended as if that horrible day never happened, like a bad dream. And after 11 months, I'd pretty much given up hope that I'd ever learn Vladimir's secret. So when I got a private phone call at 7:30 in the morning on a chilly Sunday morning, the last thing I expected to hear was Vladimir's voice on the other end. "I will teach them to you. Meet me in Sochi, Russia, in exactly 7 days." He gave me an address and then hung up the phone before I could get a word in. What was this? A trap? Did he want to finish the job and kill me dead this time? Why would he change his mind? At that moment, I had a choice. Stay home and be safe, or risk my life to learn these phantom phrases. Look, no one would blame me if I did nothing and kept pitying myself, sleeping alone every night, accepting that I'd never fuck Chelsea or any other girl I really wanted. But you know what? doing nothing was a risk too. I didn't want to risk lying on my deathbed one day, sad and completely by myself, thinking about how I could have learned this life-changing secret, but chose not to. So I made a decision, just like you may have to do. I chose to be a man, to take action, take a leap of faith, and learn these phrases no matter how much of a risk it seemed to be. 7 days later, I hopped on a plane, and there I was again. As I knocked on Vladimir's door, my hands shook and beads of sweat dripped off my forehead. The door creaked open to reveal his girlfriend, Anna, and she showed me in. I eyed the exits, planning my escape if Vladimir surprised me with a gun again. When I stepped into Vladimir's bedroom and saw him, I gasped. My body tensed and I felt a sudden coldness to my core. There he was, Vladimir, one of the most feared men in the world, wheezing through a breathing tube in his neck, an IV in his arm, and a room full of monitors and medical equipment surrounding his bed. My voice cracked as I looked up at Anna and asked her, "What's wrong with him?" "He's dying," she said. Vladimir opened his eyes. He motioned for me to sit. Was he finally going to tell me his secret this time? Could he even tell me his secret? And then he spoke. "What must happen every single time before a girl will fuck you?" the most dangerous man in the world whispered to me as he lay in his deathbed. I felt a wave of anxiety shoot up my arms and down my neck. "She has to be turned on by you, I guessed?" "Wrong," he wheezed out. "She has to be attracted to you." "Wrong again," he said, his voice rising. Beads of sweat dripped down my forehead as I racked my brain for the right answer. "She has to think you're a good match?" "Wrong, wrong, wrong," he shouted, coughing. Anna, his gorgeous 26-year-old girlfriend, softly stroked his head and gave me a cold stare, as if to say, if you make him angry again, you're kicked out. Even though he was lying there, weak and barely able to move, Vladimir still terrified me. "You couldn't be more fucking wrong," Vladimir croaked after I tried to answer his question. "I will ask you one last question, and maybe this will make sense to you. Why is it in CIA interrogations a woman is 13 times more likely to confess to a crime than a man is? Huh? Why are women 13 times more likely to confess to a crime than men?" His question sounded like something out of some spy trivia game. I sputtered back a bunch of guesses about how women were the more emotional and the weaker sex, and he cut me off again. "What you say is not true. Women are very strong, often much more headstrong than you are as a man, but her brain is very different than yours." And that's when he finally told me about what most people in the know simply refer to as the experiment. The experiment he infiltrated 7 years ago on a mission. The experiment that gave him his superpower to make a woman fuck him on command, even though he's old, wrinkly, and fat. It's probably the most unethical scientific experiment that any government has run in the last 2 decades, because the researchers tested dozens of interrogation methods on female suspects to find the most effective one. And what they discovered was the last thing they expected. Yet it holds the key to make any woman uncontrollably horny and desperate to fuck you. So you might want to take note on what Vladimir told me next, because if you're a man, it will change your life forever. "Let me tell you, my friend, women have much more vivid imaginations than men. If you have ever seen a woman act jealous for no reason and make up a story in her head, then you know this to be true." He smiled up at his girlfriend, stroking her hand apologetically. "And the psychologists who ran this study found a way you can warp a woman's imagination to make her confess. Here is the trick. If you can make her imagine confessing using a few simple phrases, then she will confess to a crime almost every single time, even if she did not actually commit this crime. It is very..." Wait, I cut him off mid-sentence. What the hell does any of this have to do with making a girl want to fuck you? Look, I didn't travel 2,000 miles to a small Russian town just to learn a CIA psychology lesson about women's vivid imaginations. I was there to learn the fastest, easiest way on earth to make a woman fuck you. But when I saw the stern look he gave me, I knew I'd screwed up. One does not interrupt a man who's been called more dangerous than a nuclear weapon by 2 government intelligence agencies. The secrets he's stolen from women have toppled 2 governments without a shot fired. A renowned ex-CIA operative once called Vladimir the greatest seducer of the last 300 years, even though 7 years ago, before he learned this secret, the only woman he'd slept with was his chubby ex-wife. And now the man I so deeply respected was giving me the look a stern father gives his naughty child. He looked at me for what seemed like ages, and finally sighed and said, You are impatient, friend. Do not interrupt me again. We clear? Completely ashamed with myself, I slumped my shoulders and nodded obediently. This study also found that the same thing that is true of confessing is also true of fucking. A woman will fuck you almost every time if you can make her imagine fucking you first. She must fuck you in her head before she fucks you in your bed, he said. Now, that's the goddamn key to this whole thing. So I'm going to repeat it to you one more time, okay? A girl must fuck you in her head before she fucks you in your bed. She has to fantasize about fucking you first. If that fantasy about you is vivid enough, then she's almost guaranteed to fuck you. What if it were possible to make the exact woman you're thinking about fantasize about fucking you over and over again, like a record on repeat? What would happen between you and her? You would own that pussy for as long as you want. That's what would happen to you. And it turns out the experiment discovered a few simple, innocent phrases that can do just that. And just like government agents can use these phrases to make a woman confess, even if she didn't commit the crime, you can use these phantom phrases to make her fuck you, even if she's normally not attracted to men like you, or if she's lost interest in you. None of that matters when you have the mind-blowing power to plant sexual fantasies about you into the very fibers of her subconscious mind. Although the sexual implications of this research shocked the government, ultimately, they wanted to use these phrases to interrogate suspects and defend against terrorism. Vladimir, not so much. Like you, he was more interested in using this secret to make a girl fuck you. After he stole these phrases, he spent 9 months refining them with one goal in mind: make any girl so horny for you that she'll fuck you, practically every time. He tested them in 5 different languages on hundreds of girls until his success rate was 96%, as he fucked 193 out of the 201 women he tested it on, while he rigorously perfected the phrases to make women horny. He threw out any phrase that didn't work every single time, and by the time he finished, he had a massive collection of rejection-proof phrases. They worked almost every time to make a girl want to fuck on command. My jaw dropped to the floor as he taught me the ins and outs of his phantom phrases. When you use them in the right time in a conversation, they force her to fantasize about you. When you do this right, it's nearly impossible for her not to make the first move on you. They're so simple, like the attraction ambush, 2 strange words that you can use to summon a woman to approach you and flirt with you. And the love lockbox, 2 innocent sentences that make her completely devoted to you and only you. Sneak them into any ordinary conversation, and her heart is yours. He even taught me the 3 horny hijack hotspots. When you touch her in these 3 hotspots while saying the phrases, then she will lose sexual control. 2 times out of 3, this will cause her to orgasm on the spot. It only took 1 hour for Vladimir to teach me everything. And it all seemed so damn easy, almost too easy. I had no idea that simple words could unlock such sexual desire in a woman. I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical. It's not that I thought Vladimir was completely full of shit. If you had seen his beautiful 26-year-old girlfriend who was at his safe house, you wouldn't question his skills either. It was more like, hey Vladimir, maybe you found something that works for you, maybe you got lucky, but there's no way it will work as easily as you say it will for me. So when I finally got back home, I did the same thing that you'll probably do after you learn this. I tested the phantom phrases. First, I called Chelsea. Do you have that one female friend who you'd just give the world to fuck? Well, mine was Chelsea. I was totally obsessed with her, and she was the prettiest girl I knew. But anytime I even hinted that I liked her, she told me something like, I see you more as a friend. I asked her to have a cup of coffee with me, and seeing as she was my friend, obviously, she said yes. And after we sat down, I snuck a few of Vladimir's phrases into our conversation, and then we just kept having a normal, everyday chat. And at first, nothing happened. I thought to myself, see, I knew it wouldn't work for me, and my heart sunk with disappointment. I slumped down in my chair, and I stopped trying. Until, what was this? Chelsea's eye twinkled and a mischievous grin spread across her face. She would not break eye contact with me. Her speech slowed down. What the hell was happening? I guess Vladimir had told me it took a few minutes for the sexual fantasies about you to take over her mind, and then out of nowhere, she started giggling uncontrollably as she wouldn't stop, like a teenage girl who just smoked her first joint. She said, I have an idea. Want to go grab a drink at my place? I nodded my head eagerly, and within seconds of entering her place, she pressed me against the wall, pulled down my jeans, and stuck my cock in her mouth. No fucking way. She pushed me into her bedroom, and when we got into her bed, she ripped off the rest of my clothes, started kissing my entire body, and slid her soaking wet pussy right on top of my throbbing cock. I spent the next 3 hours in bed, ravaging her, living out every fancy I'd ever had about her. The next morning, I woke up next to my secret crush of 4 years, and let me tell you, when I saw the way she smiled and nuzzled up against me, I was on cloud 9. And look, I'm a little ashamed to tell you about what happened next. I wish I could tell you that me and Chelsea just lived happily ever after, and that I retired from the dating game and settled down, but I didn't. I got greedy. I just had to know. Did this technique really work on any girl? Or was this all a big fluke? Maybe I was just getting lucky. Maybe Vladimir's technique had just given me a little extra confidence boost. So I decided to do something that many people might call crazy. I decided to put the technique to the test. The ultimate test. I went to One Oak, the hottest club in town at the time. This is a place jam-packed with tens, celebrities, rich guys with bottle service, athletes, male models, the works. I was a complete nobody in a room full of sharks. The lights in the club flashed, my head started to hurt as anxiety crept in, and I became more and more overwhelmed by the environment. Don't make a fool of yourself, don't make a fool of yourself. The thought kept repeating in my head. I couldn't afford to get into the VIP section, so I stood by the entrance and tried to talk to girls before the rich guys with bottle service could steal them from me. And that's when I saw them. 2 girls, oozing with confidence. They were the hottest girls in that club, and they knew it. One of them was a short, fit, petite brunette. The other one was like 5'8", golden blonde hair, and a pair of tits to die for. These girls were stunning. I had to give it a shot, right? So I quickly muttered the 2 attraction ambush words Vladimir told me would make any woman approach me, and both their eyes lit up. They giggled at each other and introduced themselves as Ashley and Alyssa, and they were best friends. The next thing I said to them included a few more of the phantom phrases, and then we just talked about completely normal stuff. Their jobs, what they did for fun, all of that. But let me tell you, man, for the next hour, these girls would not leave me alone. They turned their noses up to 2 professional football players who tried to approach them. They brutally rejected a group of men offering them bottles of Dom Perignon champagne, and all so they could talk to a short, skinny little nerd, me. Or not me, but rather me using these rejection-proof, government-tested phrases that get girls wet for you. About 2 hours before bar time, the girls insisted we go back to Alyssa's apartment. When we got there, they excused themselves to go to the bathroom and told me, "You go lay down on the bed with your eyes closed, because we have a surprise for you." "Open up," I heard one of them softly whisper in my ear. I opened my eyes and saw something beautiful. 2 best friends, completely naked, gliding their hands against my thighs as the little soldier between my legs quickly stood to attention. Each of the girls settled on one side of me. We slid under the covers. Time ceased to exist. I fucked Ashley. I fucked Alyssa. Ashley fucked Alyssa. I sank into the bed in complete ecstasy. I had to pinch myself to make sure this was really happening to me. I would tell you it was like something out of a porn movie, but that would be selling the night short. When I woke up the next morning, Ashley was cuddled up on my left side and Alyssa on my right. Ashley blushed and whispered, "I don't know what got into us. We've never done anything like that before. We just both thought you were amazing, so we decided to be good friends and share." Look, I think they were telling the truth, but who knows? Maybe they do that every weekend. All I know for sure is that that night was insane. It's when I knew without a shadow of doubt that the technique Vladimir taught me was everything I'd hoped for, and much, much more. That should have been enough to let me know that this technique was for real. But let me tell you something. When you feel this much power around women, it's hard not to go a little wild. Over the next week, I used the phantom phrases in every imaginable situation. In total, I slept with 6 more women in the next 7 days. Gorgeous women. Women I met in libraries, coffee shops, bars, on Facebook, ex-girlfriends, women whose phone numbers I hadn't called or texted in ages. Pretty much any girl I wanted to go to bed with, she was mine. I kept on going until finally I told myself, okay, I've had enough fun with this. It's time to do the only thing Vladimir requested of me, teach it to 12 more students. Vladimir's 12 final disciples. He insisted I pick only men who struggled mightily with women, but were good guys at the end of the day. So I interviewed over 140 guys, honestly, just looking for the most inexperienced guys I could find. And the final 12 I chose, let's just say most people would consider their dating lives a lost cause. 5 of them were aged between 61 and 86 years old and believed they were past their prime with women. 3 of them were virgins. 3 of them were at least 90 pounds overweight. 1 of them had a serious birth defect that made half of his face look twice as large as it really was. I had pretty low expectations, to be honest. I thought, okay, this technique might not have the same effect on these guys as it did for me, but it should at least help them, right? Well, that's what I thought at least, until the success stories started pouring in. Every time I read one, my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. Like Jeremiah from Springfield, Illinois. He was a 43-year-old virgin who grew up thinking that sex was wrong because of all of his family's religious beliefs. He felt like he couldn't understand women at all, and he wrote in that he couldn't believe it was as easy as dropping a few subtle words and hints into a normal conversation. And even though he was skeptical at first, he gave it a try. The first time he did it, he lost his virginity to a girl at Starbucks. And she wasn't the best looking, but the next day, when he had a little bit more confidence, he tried it on a girl at the bar who was a solid 8 or 9. And he closed the deal, and now he's a believer. And next we have Charles. He's 71 and thought he was over the hill with women. The first night, he used the phrases on Charlene, the hot 22-year-old waitress who served him at a work dinner. Next thing you know, she's slipping him her number, and 2 hours later, they're going at it in his bed, and she's begging him for it. He says his entire life has changed now. He slept with 3 girls at the bar across from his house, and a college girl who works at the coffee shop next door. And now he's dating the hot new girl at work, and his boss even gave him a raise. And last, we have a real redemption story with 27-year-old Brody from Newport Beach. Last year, he lost his girlfriend, his job, and his confidence. He didn't know where to start or what to do, but he simply used some of these phrases in a phone conversation with his ex, and now they're back together and happier than ever before. 10 out of the 12 men in the test group got laid within 48 hours of learning the technique. And the 2 guys who didn't get laid, well, they both suffered from such severe anxiety that they can't speak to a woman without being on the verge of a panic attack. So I took them out next weekend and taught them a simple body language tweak that gives even the shyest guy the confidence of a man who slept with hundreds of women, and they both got laid within 4 hours. All 12 of my test group members are still doing great to this day. 7 out of the 12 men are dating women that most men would consider 9s or 10s, and the other 5 guys are playing the field completely by choice. Because when you give any man this much power, well, he's going to want to have a bit of fun. So at this point, I bet you're wondering, why am I even telling you any of this if Vladimir only allowed me to share this with 12 men? What's the point of this presentation if I'm not even allowed to share the secret anymore? Well, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is really unfortunate. Vladimir passed away. He was a fighter, that's for sure. He lived for 9 more months after I visited him on that deathbed. That's 7 months longer than the doctors expected. But cancer's tough. It's taken far too many of my friends, and I hope like hell we find a cure soon. It was a sad day for me, finding out that this living legend, who I idolized, was no longer with us. I am happy to report, however, that he died in the arms of Anna, the love of his life. And dying in the arms of the woman that you love is all any man can really ask for, in my opinion. Now, the good news is that Vladimir gave me very specific instructions for what I was to do once he passed. He told me to release his technique to one last test group of men who meet a very specific set of standards, so that his legacy as the greatest seducer of our time would truly be cemented in stone. My name is Adam, and I am one of only 13 men in the world who know Vladimir's top secret, government-guarded technique, the obsession formula. And in just a moment, we're going to find out if you're eligible to join today's test group and join our ranks. But first, I want to tell you exactly what the obsession formula is and what it's not, to get a better idea if you're a good fit. The obsession formula is a paint-by-numbers, simple, government-classified technique that makes any girl you want feverishly horny and ready to fuck you. The key to the whole thing is the phantom phrases, which are innocent phrases that you can sneak into any everyday conversation that forces a woman's subconscious mind to fantasize about you and feel an uncontrollable urge to chase you for sex. The technique starts working its magic in anywhere from 2 minutes to an hour after you use it, at which point she will be fully aroused because her imagination imagination is running wild with sexual thoughts about you, even if you're not normally her type. 90% of the time, all you have to do to sleep with her is kick back and relax, as she makes the first move on you. The obsession formula will get you laid by the girl you want. I have no doubt about that. It doesn't matter how old you are, how big or small your bank account is, how short or ugly you are, or how little confidence or experience you have with women. She won't care about that, because this rejection-proof technique literally does the work for you. This technique is some serious stuff. In the wrong hands, it can cause real psychological damage to a woman. It should not be used by anyone who is a sex offender. It should not be used for revenge on a girl who hurt you in the past. And it should not be used in a deceptive manner. Are we clear? Okay, good. Now let's take a sneak peek at what you'll learn if you're accepted into today's test group. You'll discover the timid temptation move that you can use to get the woman you're talking to so turned on by you that she unconsciously starts touching your thighs, legs, and in many cases, reaching beneath your pants to get you hard, even if you're in public. You'll learn 7 erotic brainwash phrases that unleash any girl's inner nymphomaniac and transform her into your own personal sex servant overnight. I'll reveal the primal power pose that gives you an unconscious killer instinct with women so potent that all you have to do is look at her and she'll know it's on between the two of you. You'll discover the Casanova shortcut to jetting from no experience at all with women to naturally being so dangerously good with girls that it scares your friends. You'll learn the rival rejector, a dead simple move that makes her look up to you as the best option to date out of all of the guys that she meets, while she looks down on and ignores all of your competition. And you'll discover 3 subtle lust commands to use on any girl you want that doesn't think of you sexually yet, and these are completely rejection proof. And she'll never know what you're doing, she'll just know that she has to have you. I'll teach you a 10-second devotion trance technique to make a woman feel an unbreakable, addictive bond to you and want to be with you for the rest of her life. I'll even pull back the curtains on a 2,300-year-old attachment aura that engulfs the commitment part of her brain and makes her want to settle down with you and be your girlfriend. You'll discover how to read the 7 arousal cues that are unconsciously given off when she's looking for a guy to fuck that night, so you never have to waste your time with girls that aren't available or horny. And you'll learn a 3-second arousal amplification trick for making a girl instantly horny. Secretly do this like 1 or 2 times and she'll be ready to be kissed. Sneak it in 3 or 4 more times throughout the evening and you'll fuck her that same night. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg, man, because you're going to discover much, much more. Now, Vladimir insisted that I only allow men who agree to 3 simple rules in this group. Number 1, follow the golden rule. Treat women as you'd like to be treated. Number 2, do not use this system on any woman who is under the legal age of consent. Always check for identification. And number 3, do not share this secret with anyone, not even your best friends or your closest relatives, and especially not any women. Do we have a deal? All right, well, let's do this then. At this point, you're probably wondering how much it's going to cost you to join this test group. The first test group of 12 guys paid $3,500 to learn this secret. That's a lot of money, yes, but every last one of them would tell you that they would have sold their house, their car, and probably their soul to learn this secret. Plus, we all know the brutal costs of not having your dating life under control. The hundreds of dollars you spend on dates that lead nowhere, the cost of drinks, online dating accounts, sometimes even hookers, just to satisfy the primal needs that you have as a man. So what do you think this power is worth? The power to make almost any woman on earth wet and horny on your command. By planting vivid sexual fantasies about you into the deepest, most primal part of her brain, this is a power that many governments believe is more dangerous than a nuclear weapon. This technique is extremely controversial, which is why I'm only releasing 500 copies of the Obsession Formula today, the maximum amount that Vladimir allowed. In Vladimir's last days, he suggested I don't charge a penny less than $2,000 for a video tutorial of the Obsession Formula. However, my marketing manager suggested that $800 would be a fair price. And you know what? I completely agree. But for today's release, in honor of Vladimir's legacy, I'm going to do something really special. I'm not going to make you pay $800. And you're not even going to pay half of that. Heck, you're not even going to pay $199. Here's what's going to happen for today's one-time test group. I'm going to open up exactly 500 spots to the Obsession Formula, and the next 50 men who order will only pay the massively discounted fast action price of $69.99. That's because I want the men who take action, the men who want this the most, to get it at the absolute lowest price. Break that price down over the next 2 months, and that's about $1.17 a day, which is less than a cup of coffee, and there's no coffee in the world that will get you laid by girls this hot. And everyone else will pay $147, which is still an absolute bargain, but if you want the discounted price, you must act right now. Plus, think of all the money, time, and energy that you'll save. No more expensive dates that go nowhere. You'll just pick the girl you want, say a few innocent, rejection-proof words, and she'll fuck you. As amazing as it sounds, it really is that simple. And I am absolutely thrilled that you stumbled on this page when you did. Your timing couldn't have been better, because today is the last time that you'll ever see this page. This is a now or never opportunity, so you must act now. Look, I want to keep this test group small. I'm taking a huge risk even putting this presentation online. If too many people get wind of this, I could get in a lot of trouble. So as soon as that last spot is snatched up, or when the clock runs out, I'm closing sales. But if you're still watching, then congratulations, because there is space left, and I've reserved exactly one spot for you. I'll keep your spot reserved for the next 7 minutes. But if you don't act now, and click the button below this video, your spot will be passed on to the next lucky guy. This video announcement is going out to hundreds of thousands of guys just like you. So don't put off this decision, because if you do, another man will get the spot that I reserved for you. And to make your decision a complete no-brainer, I'm giving you my double your money back guarantee. Try the obsession formula for a full 60 days, and if for some reason you aren't fucking hot women, you aren't sleeping with the girl that you want to be your girlfriend, or hell, even if you don't like the way my face looks in the video tutorials, simply shoot me an email at adam@theobsessionformula.com or call my toll-free number at 1-800-739-4849 and I'll give you double your money back. Yep, you heard me right. I said double your money back. That's how certain I am the Obsession Formula will work to get you your girl as soon as tonight. And all I ask is you give it an honest 60-day go. I take 100% of the risk and you get 100% of the upside. Well, 200% technically. Look, if I can't get you the results I've promised you, I don't deserve your money. I couldn't afford to give you such an outrageous guarantee if this weren't the real deal. If I didn't know without a shadow of doubt that this system would do everything I told you it would, and more. Sure, some guys might take advantage of my generosity and ask for their money back just because, but I really don't think you're that type of guy. Especially when you go through the program and see firsthand how it changes your life. Literally every guy who gets their hands on this secret starts dating absolutely stunning girls within a week, just like you will. Every single one of the men in my original test group had huge disadvantages. So if you think you're too old or ugly or busy to get the type of girls you want, then you couldn't be more wrong. The guys were old, overweight, and not blessed in the looks department. Some of them were so shy and inexperienced with women, they could barely spit out a word to them. And now they're all sleeping with and dating girls that most guys only dream about. Just like you will. And it's all because they took the same leap of faith that I'm asking you to consider today. The leap of faith for you to try something new, for you to try something completely risk-free, and for you to quickly sleep with girls who seemed totally out of your league before. And if you think that guarantee is amazing, then I'm going to take it up another notch. I'm including 10 amazing life-changing bonuses with your spot in the test group. Bonuses valued at over $600 for free, just as my way of saying thank you for giving this a try. You'll get the Friend Zone to Sex Zone program. Normally this retails for $107 and it's yours for free. Do you have a female friend that you'd give anything to hook up with? In this bonus, you get a bulletproof system that turns a platonic friendship into a steamy, sweaty, sexual relationship. If a girl's ever told you, let's just be friends, then get ready for her to start telling you, can you just fuck me already? I am so horny. You'll also get the X-Ray Vision program, which is normally $97, and again, you'll get that for free, and you'll learn how to read a woman's secret subtle signals that tell you exactly when she wants you to make your move. You'll know the instant the obsession formula starts working, and in that instant, there will be no question or uncertainty in your mind that she is yours. And you'll never wonder whether it's okay to make a move on her again, because you know the dead giveaways that all women reveal when they want you to take her. You'll also get the Facebook seduction program. Normally this retails at $39.99, but again, this is yours completely for free. Are you on Facebook? Almost every single girl is. It is a treasure trove of hot girls. And in this exclusive bonus, you'll learn how to get girls friending you, what you should message them, and how you can get them on a date, even if you've been out of touch for years or don't even know them. You'll also get the Only You program. Again, this normally sells for $39.99, but you get it completely free in your package. The guide to cheat-proofing your relationship. When a girl is unfaithful to you, it causes a whirlwind of pain. I've been there, and I can tell you it sucks. But after you go through this exclusive bonus, you'll never worry about a girl being unfaithful, because you've taken the proper steps in the correct order to make sure she never strays away from you and wants you and only you. I'm also going to give you the online attraction formula. Now, normally this program's $69.99, but again, you'll be getting that completely for free. And this is going to teach you how to win at online dating. You'll get the secret sequence of messages that has been proven over and over again to get girls on an online dating site not only responding to your messages, but begging you to go out with them. And when you follow this easy formula, you won't even have to leave your house to get laid. You're going to get the Speaking Womanese program, which is normally $97, but again, you'll be getting that for free because women communicate in a very different way to you and I. After you learn the simple tricks in the bonus, you'll communicate with her in a way that has her thinking, he just gets me. You'll never run out of things to say when you talk to her because you'll be using her own tricks against her to lead the conversation so that she eventually stops the small talk and starts asking you when she can come back to your home or your apartment. You're also going to get the Tinder Secrets program, which is normally $37, but again, you'll be getting it for free. If you have a smartphone, you have hundreds of single women in your area using cell phone apps like Tinder to meet men. And in this exclusive bonus, you'll discover secrets you can use to create an attractive profile that makes it impossible for women to say no to you. And you'll get the most effective tested opening lines to use and learn what you have to say next to get her interested in meeting up with you for a steamy hookup at your place. This is your secret to having girls on demand. You'll also get the Hookup Handbook, and this is normally $49, but you'll be getting it for free. In this bonus, you'll learn 20 ultra-specific, ultra-effective tricks to convince any girl to come back to your place. It doesn't matter if you're on a date with her or if you just met her that day. You'll know exactly, step by step, how you can escalate things to sex so that you're silky smooth every time you make a move on a girl. You'll also get the Text Game Mastery program, normally retailing at $37, but you get it for free. Do you want to have sex with a girl whose number is in your phone? Well, in this bonus, we're making it easy. Even if you haven't texted her in ages, you'll learn the exact messages word for word that make almost any girl in your phone want to meet up with you for a sex date and send you sexy, personal nude photos over and over again. Finally, I'm also going to gift you free trial access to my Not Safe for Work advanced coaching program, the Red Hornet Academy, normally a $49.40 value. Now, my two girlfriends are actually going to help you within this training program, and they're going to teach you everything about how women think, about how to attract them, how to seduce them, how to take them to bed, and how to fuck them, completely free of charge. Look, I've never done anything like this ever before, giving away over $608 worth of bonuses for free with your purchase today, but I wanted to make today's decision an absolute no-brainer for you. So it's time for you to do this. Now is your time. You are mere seconds away from getting access to this highly coveted secret technique and taking any girl you have your eye on from not interested or just sees you as a friend or doesn't even know you exist to feverishly horny for you, begging you to fuck them. You already know that this video is about to come down, so if you want access to this technique, you must act now. Click the button below this video and use this technique tonight on any girl you choose. Get her dripping wet for you and ready to fuck you. End your dry spell and you can have sex with a hotter girl than you ever thought possible tonight. Here's exactly what's going to happen when you click the button below. You'll be taken to my confirmation page. On this page, you'll find out if you're eligible for the fast action discount. Then you'll simply enter your payment information and you'll click the Complete My Order button to gain access to the obsession formula. And remember, you have a full 60 days to test this out at no risk to you. And if it doesn't work for you, you get double your money back. And you can feel completely confident that your private information is safe and secure because I've encrypted the checkout page with the latest 256-bit security software, which means it's as secure as a Swiss bank. So your private data is as protected as the world's richest people. I've even got my security system verified by the same companies that verify sites like Amazon.com and Apple.com. You'll see trust badges from security companies like McAfee and Authorize.net to make you feel 100% protected when you click the button below and get started. So lock in your spot now. Enter your email address and click the button below. Fill out the simple and secure form and get your instant access. And what if you have any questions while you learn the technique? Well, as a test group member, you're getting access to my personal private email address, where me or one of my executive coaches will answer any question you have about the system. So you'll have help every step of your journey. If you have questions, we've got answers. And it all starts right now for you, when you click the button below and claim your spot today. So right now, you have a simple choice. Option 1, the risky choice. This is the option where you do nothing. You listen to that voice in your head that has always told you to play it safe or put off every important decision. It's the same exact voice that has sabotaged your success with women for years. And if you let that nasty little voice in your head win you over, you'll choose to do nothing. You'll make up some excuse, you'll put this off, and you'll allow some other lucky guy to steal your spot. If you let that voice win out, and I really hope you don't, you're going to risk going to bed at night all alone for weeks, months, or years. You'll risk the girl you've been thinking about all presentation slipping away from you, and you'll lose her to some guy who probably wouldn't treat her as well as you would. You would let that nasty little voice in your head win out forever, and you risk dying sexless, sad, and all alone when you never got this problem handled. Because the truth is that every second that you put this problem off, your dating problem, we both know what I'm talking about here, you're making it much harder on yourself in the long run. I've seen guys put their dating life on hold for decades, lying to themselves and saying they'll get it handled one day. And it's sad to watch because it never works out that way. You don't want that to happen to you. Or you can take option number 2, the easy choice. Claim your spot right now and risk absolutely nothing. Click the button below and claim your spot on the Obsession Formula test group and learn the simple, easy, rejection-proof technique to make any woman dripping wet and begging to fuck you. When you take this choice, your dating life will be on autopilot because you now have the persuasion tool that some nations have deemed more powerful than a nuclear weapon. And you have the shocking power to choose the woman you want and make her beg to fuck you almost every time. Which means that girl that you've been thinking about all through this presentation, she's going to start thinking about you, fantasizing about you, and she's as good as yours. Look, I can't make your decision for you. I really can't. But in my humble opinion, this is a no-brainer for you. I want you to be a part of this exclusive group. So why don't you give the Obsession Formula a try for 60 days? And if you aren't getting laid every single night, if for any reason you don't land that amazing, stunning girlfriend you crave so badly, or hell, even if you love the information, but you don't like the way that my face looks, then you can just send me an email or you can give me a call and I'll promptly give you a refund for double your money back. This is a no-lose situation for you. So listen closely. Right now is not a time for you to hesitate. It's a time for you to act. Your time is running out. So go ahead, click that button and give yourself what you want deep down. Complete power to fuck pretty much any girl that you want. It doesn't get better than that, does it? You'll have the sneaky, almost unfair persuasion techniques that make women lose control. And you'll use it on a girl you want to make her obsessed with you, and only you. Your satisfaction is guaranteed for a full 60 days, so you're not even risking a penny. And you can use it to fuck that one girl you've had your eye on for ages. Or you can use it to fuck dozens of girls. It's really your choice. But either way, you need to act now. Spots are extremely limited, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. So try Trust me, don't hesitate this time. You want to take advantage of this and you want to do it now. Just click the button and get what you crave. Control in your dating life. Sex, lots of it, and women obsessed with you, and only you, with no competition to you from other guys. Now, maybe you think you're a lost cause with women. Well, this system has worked for men with serious physical disabilities and zero experience with women. If they can do it, you can do it too. And maybe you think that this will take too much effort. Hell no! I designed this to be as simple as possible for you. You can start using this tonight and see insane results. Maybe you think this is just too good to be true, and I don't blame you because I couldn't believe it until I saw the results with my own eyes, but trust me, this is real. And with my guarantee, you're literally risking nothing. So right now, I'm going to leave you with the 3 most important reasons why you must act now and why you must click the button below this video. And then I've got to go. 1. Your spot will be gone soon. Space is strictly limited, and once your spot is filled, you will lose it forever. 2. Your results are 100% guaranteed. If you don't meet your wildest goals and dreams with women, if your sex life doesn't rival a porn star's, then I want to give you double your money back. All you have to do is ask. 3, it's time for the massive change in your life that you've been waiting for. You know it, and I know it. You feel an emptiness that only a beautiful woman who you love can fill. And you know you need to fix your dating life, and you're tired of band-aid solutions. Today is the day that everything changes for you, my friend. And this is not a decision that you'll regret. It all starts now. Click the button below, get instant access, and get the girl that you've had your eyes on in your bed and down to fuck you. Hey, are you still there? You still deciding? Listen, man, it's all good and it's only natural that you've got some questions. In fact, they've been pouring in over the last couple of hours. So I want to take a minute just to address a few of the more common questions as you're sitting there and making the life-changing decision to join today's test group. One of the big questions people ask is, how fast do I get access to the obsession formula? The simple answer is right away. The instant you complete your order, you're going to gain immediate access to the HD video recordings of the exact seminar that I gave to the original people that learned the obsession formula, as well as all of the bonuses. Everything is digitally downloadable in the encrypted private members area, so you don't have to worry about anyone discovering that you've got the program. You don't have to wait for some weird package to show up at your doorstep and your mum's like, what is that? I want to make it 100% private. I don't want anyone to judge you for it or for you to feel uncomfortable. I want to make sure that you get access to it instantly so you can start viewing all the material right away, and you can use it on a girl tonight. In fact, literally within a couple of minutes after you click the button below and complete your order, you're going to have every single tool you need to get the girl that you want in your bed. And it's literally all yours as fast as you can enter your information on the next page. So man, just click the link, go through, get it, you'll see absolutely everything. Another question that seems to be coming in a lot is people are, saying, will it work for me even if I'm fat or if I'm old or if I'm poor, if I'm bald or if I'm inexperienced or whatever the other excuses are? And this is like a really common question that's coming up. We've got like variants of that. And I've got so many different people, thinking that they're unique. I'm 62 years old, or, I am 100 pounds overweight, or whatever the situation is. I haven't had sex with girls ever or in the last 20 years. So I don't think that it'll actually work for me. And it's amazing how many people have this same excuse, but just, with them being the unique quality. And there's a lot of guys that have this problem, that they think that they're uniquely bad for this. But, the truth is, my response to those guys is try it. It's one of the reasons we put the guarantee in there, is so that you can get past that fear, because it's that fear that's really holding you back. It's the fear that this won't work for you. Well, if it doesn't, then you're just going to get double your money back, so you got nothing to worry about it. I get it though. If you've thought that money or looks or being young was the key to getting women, or maybe you've had a little bit of success with some of those things in the past, then you might think that that's the only way to make it work. And the idea of learning something like the obsession formula, it's like new territory for you. But the truth is, one day your looks do disappear. You do get older, and maybe that's already happened. And that's exactly why you need to try something that doesn't rely on those things. And there are plenty of guys out there that are old and wrinkly and overweight and don't have any money that are having incredible success with beautiful girls. And it's because they've learned some kind of method method to make this happen. And that's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to find something that was so reliable that it just worked over and over again. And that's what the obsession formula is. It works because of the technique, not the person using it. It's the words you say that make someone fantasize about you and crave sex from you. The formula does the work for you. And it's true that sometimes women get attracted to guys who are good looking or who are rich. But after you use the obsession formula, the last thing she's going to think about is whether you two are a good match or whether or not you're her type, because it's her most primal sexual fantasy that you're going to trigger in her mind, and it's going to bypass her logical brain, and it's going to speak to her sexual brain and make her want to fuck you. I actually remember I had one of my favorite people that I worked with in this program was this ginger, overweight guy, and he's dating a Playboy model from Romania. And one day she said to him, she's like, you know what? She's like, I love you so much. We've been together for 3 years, and yet you're not normally the kind of guy that I'm attracted to. And he laughed at her, and she's like, why are you laughing at me? And he's like, well, I'm laughing at you because I'm not the kind of guy any girl goes for. There's no one that sits here, looks at a balding ginger fat man like me with skinny arms and a pale complexion, is like, that's the guy that I want. He's like, it's all because I learned how to make someone like you crave me sexually. And he's like, and then she did. She jumped on me and she's like, I do crave you sexually. I just want you so much, my awkward, ugly, balding man. And that's because that's what happens. Women, once they get aroused, they want to have sex with you. They want you. And that's the key, because when you control the mechanism in her mind that generates her fantasies, you control how she sees the world and her desires. And which means that to her, you're going to seem like the absolute catch of a lifetime. Another question that's coming up is like, I like this one girl who sees me just like a friend. Will the obsession formula help me get her? Listen, like, I guarantee you listening to this, there is a girl you know who sees you as just a friend, or there's a girl that you'd like to be dating, but you're not actually dating her. When you use the obsession formula, you're going to cause an obsessive, addictive response in pretty much any woman you want. And the great thing about using it is it's going to go under the radar, so you can use it on a female friend, and you're not going to risk ruining that relationship or that friendship when you test it on them. So you can totally give it a test, give it a try, knowing there's no risk. And this technique is going to covertly make her fantasize about you. So it works really well for a girl that's put you in the friend zone. And it's the most risk-free, stress-free way to make her yours every time. It will just look like you're having an innocent conversation. You're going to slip in a few of these under-the-radar phrases, very casual in a way that she won't realize it or suspect. And she's just going to be like, wow, I don't know what it is, but there's something about you that's different now. Something's changed. I've got these new feelings for this guy that I just can't explain. She's going to start going away, imagining having sex with you. And that's when she's going to get horny and chase you. And, she's going to want to make something happen without even realizing why she's doing it. And the reality is you're not going to do anything different than what you normally do beyond just say a few simple phrases. It doesn't require you to change who you are. You're just going to use the technique to elicit a very different emotional response in her. And you're interacting with her in a different way, and a way that turns her on and psychologically forces her to get horny and to want you. So the answer is yes, you are going to avoid the friend zone altogether in the first place when you use this. And if a girl you already like has put you in the friend zone, then you're going to love how quickly things change between you guys. In fact, one of the things I've seen a lot is the students that have already sort of like gone away and learned this program and using it are actively trying to get in the friend zone because they're having sex with so many different women. They need to store other women in the friend zone so they can get back to them later without creating too much jealousy between all the girls, because if they've got 20 different girls that they've got the option to be with, they can only have sex with 3 or 4 of them at once realistically, just because of time in the day. And so the other girls have found it easier to keep them in the friend zone until they want to go and get them out of it. And they sort of like go into that friend zone, hang out with them, use some of the obsession formula phrases and pull them out. And so that's what makes it perfect for using this technique with girls you meet at work, girls you maybe have a class with, or maybe if she's seeing somebody else, you can keep her in the friend zone while she's dating the other guy, because you don't want to be that guy that goes around wrecking relationships. But at some point that guy's going to make a mistake, or maybe you're going to feel that he's not treating her well, and you want to get in there, and then you can just drop some of the phrases, and she's going to start seeing you differently, and she's going to start realizing this guy is a complete loser, and then she's going to come to you. So it works especially well in situations where it'd be risky for you to make a big move on her, and that's honestly where this obsession formula really works its magic. A question that's coming in quite a lot is actually the I'm tired of dating, I just want a girlfriend, will the obsession formula get me one? I think a lot of guys in my test group got carried away when I first gave them this technique. They all went a little crazy and had a lot of sex, and I don't blame them. I really think that a lot of guys have it in them that they do want to meet the one, they do want to settle down, but they want to do it while having sex with a lot of girls first to kind of like identify what they want. And when you can turn a woman on that quickly, the temptation is really there to like make up for lost time and to go back and have all the crazy sex you wish you had, you know, in your teens or 20s or 30s or whatever the case may be. But once you get past that phase, a lot of guys really do just want to find the one amazing girl, the girl that they can worship and love more than life itself, you know, just like Vladimir did with Anna. And I think that a girl who is a total 9 or a 10, who you know you'll be loyal and loving to forever, the girl who brings out the best of you, and you know, she makes you feel butterflies every time you look into her eyes. It doesn't hurt if she's so hot that she makes all your friends totally jealous. And you know, and I think that using the obsession formula is one of the easiest ways to make a girl fall in love with you. In fact, after you use this technique to sleep with her, I'm going to give you one quick and easy bonus step that's going to maintain those feelings of lust and desire in her, and also add a strong, unbreakable feeling of love to the mix. It really is the easiest way to make a girl fall in love with you and be addicted to you for the rest of your life. So this additional step to the system is perfect for men who are tired of going on dates, going out to bars to meet girls all the time, and you get that hangover feeling the next day, or you know, your finger gets tired because you're swiping too often on dating apps. That stuff adds up, and it takes a lot of time and energy out of you. And at some point, guys do want to retire from the game and settle down with, you know, their perfect one, and stop going out there and having random dates. And this scientifically proven technique will work to give you the power to hand select the girl that you want and make her fall completely in love with you and not think of any other men. And you know, I'll be honest with you, I got greedy. I totally did it twice, and that's why I have 2 girlfriends, because you know, I still like the idea of not having to go out and put in any work, but also, you know, chopping and changing it a bit. So yeah, it's really powerful stuff. Another question that I'm getting is like, how is this different from all of the other dating advice I've seen? There's a lot of different dating programs out there. A lot of people that are going to claim that this is the best way or the only way or what have you. I think the real difference between the obsession formula and the other programs and advice out there is that this is the only system that uses a really new psychological trigger to do the one thing that's proven to make a girl obsess over you and get uncontrollably horny, and that's turning on her deepest, darkest sexual fantasies and aiming them at you. I think a lot of the other advice out there requires you to do all the work. You know, it's getting you to, you know, put the time in, memorize lines, go out there, stand on street corners, talk to girls, you know, learn these different techniques, move her in certain ways, say certain things at the right time, touch her elbow. There's all this other stuff out there. And the reality is with the obsession formula, you're bypassing all of that, and you're really just focusing on the one thing that makes girls addicted, which is the secret fantasies that turn her on and triggering it in her brain. And there's no other system that works like this. You know, you just slip these normal everyday phrases into an innocent conversation, and then you chill out as she does all of the work. And trust me, you're going to love the look on her face when you see these fantasies start to work their magic, and you can see that desire in her eyes. You know, you see this sort of like cheeky little grin they get when you know they really want you. So yeah, you're gonna absolutely love it, and I think you'll realize there is a big difference. And of course, you know, if you're like, actually, you know what, this is just the same thing that I've already heard, then just get your refund. You know, there's no stress about that. This is actually a more recent question that we get. This is like a newer one, which is it manipulative or unfair to use this system on a woman? And obviously there's going to be a lot of controversy whenever you're talking about, you know, triggering desire in somebody's brain. But the truth is it considered manipulative when a girl puts on makeup to trigger desire in a male, or if she puts on a push-up bra to make her breast bigger, or high heels that make her butt bigger? You know, is that manipulative? Not really. You know, it's really about understanding that there are certain things that trigger attraction between men and women, and what a woman does with her body to make a male physically attractive, a man has always done in a girl's mind by getting a girl turned on in her mind has always been the key to lead into sex. And every woman knows that. Every woman knows that if she isn't aroused in her mind, then she isn't going to want to have sex. And so the obsession formula is really just giving you some power back, enabling you to get her aroused in her mind so that, you know, she's going to want you. And it is the equivalent of a push-up bra or high heels or makeup for a guy, except it's doing what women want. They don't want to see you, you know, all puffed up and, you know, looking too prissy and, you know, I don't know, you've got too much product in your hair or whatever. They don't want that. They just want a guy who's a guy, but who turns her on. And that's what the obsession formula is going to do. You know, it's going to work in such a deep psychological way that she's going to get turned on, she's going to get horny, and she enjoys feeling horny, she enjoys feeling turned on, and she's going to want to have sex with you. You know, women want a man that understands them and how to turn them on, because she wants to know that, if she stays with you and she has a good time with you, that's going to be great sex. There's no woman in the world that's like, oh, I really want to date that guy because he's good looking and I don't care if the sex is bad. She wants good sex. But they will happily have sex with a guy that isn't their ideal guy if they know the sex is going to be good. And they'll keep coming back to it. And the thing that makes sex good for a girl is if she's turned on in her mind. And that's what the obsession formula does. So it's even going to help you in bed, because when she's turned on mentally before you have sex, she even think the sex is better than it actually is. Can't tell you how many times I've got away with just like lying back and she's doing all the work. And all I've done is like use the obsession formula, got her turned on. And then she's riding my dick while I'm sitting back and just, during sex throwing out a few more of these phrases. And she's screaming, being like, oh my God, you're so hot. And I'm literally thinking, you're literally doing all the work. Like literally, I'm just lying here speaking to you a bit and you're the one that's grinding and I'm getting this like awesome porn show, except I'm the porn star and you're riding my dick. So yeah, I think it's absolutely awesome. And I think you really are gonna enjoy using it when you realize how much she enjoys you using it on her. It's not cheating. It's just leveling the playing field a little bit for the average and below average guys. Like I was, like the original test group were, the obsession formula makes it possible for guys like us to have the same results with women as rich assholes who, to be completely honest with you, they might have been born good looking or born into money, but they tend to treat the girls like shit anyway. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. This question comes up every so often, not as much. I think a lot of people are used to online programs now and purchasing things online, but there are people that are like, can I trust your guarantee? And I can say absolutely yes without question. This program is actually owned by Enrich Publishing, who handles all of the customer support needs. And Enrich Publishing is famous for their first-class customer service. They're based in the United States, and every single one of the customer support reps are friendly, helpful, and trained to deliver a totally hassle-free experience for you if you want your money back. They'll quickly process your refund if you don't like the program for any reason whatsoever. And all you do is you just download the program, try it for up to 60 days. And trust me, it won't take 60 days to start seeing just how awesome it is and how powerful it is and how effective it's going to be in your life. But you can still take as much time as you want to try out the material. If you're not happy, you just send an email or call toll free and you'll get all your money back, 0 questions asked. And honestly, the only person who's taking the risk when you order isn't you, it's me. Look, I hope you're not this type of guy, but if you wanted to, you could just buy the program, get your money back, even after getting the benefit of the material. I doubt you're going to do that when you see how much your life changes after learning these phantom phrases. That wouldn't be very nice if it transforms your life as much as I know it will, but I know there's always a few bad apples out there. I'm not really concerned about it. I'm more concerned with the good guys and the awesome results they see, because nothing makes me happier than hearing your success stories and hearing about guys who are completely fed up with dating girls, who are now totally in control of their dating life. They feel like they have all the power when they talk to beautiful women. In fact, what's really awesome is some of those guys will actually reach out and offer to, get gifts or give free vacations and stuff like that because they're so happy with their love life. I've been invited to goodness knows how many weddings from people. So yeah, you can totally 100% trust the guarantee. Absolutely. It's because we're not worried about people actually claiming it back because we know how effective this is in their life. Another question we get is what kind of person should not purchase the obsession formula? Who will this not work for? This system is not for men who want to use it to help women in any way, shape or form. I think that if you want to be good with women, then you have to love them. And I think that's something that there are some guys out there that don't love women and they hate them and they want to have sex with them because they hate them. And I think that's just incredibly wrong. If you've got a history of emotional or physical abuse towards women, then don't even apply to this program. Look, I'm a firm believer in what goes around comes around, and that's why you should follow the golden rule and treat women how you want to be treated. And in fact, I have a key rule that I tell everyone in person, which is you always want to ensure that anyone that comes to you in your life, stays in your life and ends up better because of it, because of you. And you can bring out so many great emotions in a woman. You can bring out attraction, love, sexual desire. You can literally make her feel butterflies every time she's around you. And that's what she wants. But if you lie to her, if you deceive her, if you cheat on her and she finds out, then she's going to feel a pain unlike anything she's ever felt before. Like any great power, you can use it for good or evil. And as Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. So please use the obsession formula responsibly. And if you're not an honest good guy, then please do us both a favor and don't even bother buying the program. Another question that I get, and this is actually a big one, is how quickly will I see results? Which makes sense. Obviously, you want to get results from the program. And the truth is, it depends on how fast you go through it. It's like anything in life. If you buy a big piece of exercise equipment, but you only go through the first page of the instructions to put it together, then you're not going to see results very fast. You won't even have a foundation to work on because you haven't even got the equipment ready. So you have to actually go through the program. You have to follow along. You have to pay attention if you want the results. And then once you've learned the secrets, once you've learned the different phantom phrases, you have to actually use them on the girl you've been thinking about or on new girls that you haven't even met yet. The obsession formula isn't a magical love potion. You're not going to buy the product and then the girl of your dreams is just going to turn up at your door, knocking on the door and wants to be your girlfriend and have sex with you. You got to use it in a conversation or in a text or Facebook message first. So if you want sex and companionship while you're just sitting on your couch without putting in an ounce of effort, you might as well just hire a prostitute or something, because we both know that's not realistic. It's like learning any new skill. You're not going to get the results if you don't put the work into it. You're going to get exactly what you deserve based on the amount of effort you put towards it. But me and my team of coaches are going to be there for you every step of the way. Anytime you have a problem, we're going to be there to help you out and guide you along, because we want this to work for you. So with all that being said, starting right after you finish the program, you're going to see that results almost the same day. You're going to know women much better than you ever have in your life, and you're going to know exactly what to do and say to make her insanely turned on. If you go out tonight or tomorrow and use what you learn, then you're going to be very, very happy with the new way that women see you, and you're going to be able to recognize that. And trust me, that's an awesome feeling. And finally, I think the other question that people have is my credit card information safe with you? What's going to show up on my bill? As I mentioned before, it's not me personally charging a credit company. It's going to be Enrich Publishing, which is what's going to show up on your bill. And Enrich Publishing is one of the most well-respected self-development publishing companies in the world. They've secured the rights to my world-renowned dating technique. It's a family-run business, and they're not going to risk ruining their hard-earned reputation by pissing off their customers or ripping them off. So they use the same payment processing as Amazon.com and the same security software as Facebook and Google. So your private information is as safe as humanly possible. I mentioned this earlier, but it's a 256-bit secure encryption, which means there's no way your private information could be stolen by hackers or any third party. And buying this formula is actually much safer than going to a fast food restaurant or a grocery store and using a credit card, because there isn't an employee who's actually handling your credit card information. All you do is enter your information, and you're going to have the best customer experience of your life. We guarantee it. And those are the most common questions. So if you do have any more questions, then it's really time to just click the button below and give it a try, and let us answer them personally after you make the purchase. Remember, we're taking all the risk here. Your satisfaction is totally guaranteed. And if you decide this isn't for you, hey, I'm not going to hold it against you. Just shoot me an email and we'll take care of you within 1 or 2 business days. No problem. I'm here to help and empower men like you, and that really is the most important thing for me. If you don't feel like I significantly improved your life, then I just don't want your money. And the best part of the guarantee is that there's no strings attached. If you don't like the program, you don't owe me an explanation. The program just wasn't for you, and that's totally okay. But I've got to tell you, man, I'm really, really confident that the obsession formula will change your life. It completely changed my dating life and my students. And I want the same thing for you. Whatever your dating and relationship goals are, I want to be the one who helps you meet them. And that's why I've chosen to take all the risk to make sure that you'll give it a try. And even if you don't like my teaching style, or you get annoyed by the sound of my voice or the font of the instruction manual, then just shoot me or Enrich Publishing an email, or call our toll-free hotline, which will all be included in the program. So let's do this. The time for talking about this is done. I don't know how many spots are left right now, or even if yours are still reserved, but you have to click the button below to find out. I expect these spots are going to go incredibly fast, and you can find out if there's still room in my test group by clicking the button below and the secure form on the next page. So go for it, and I'll see you on the inside, my friend. And boy, do I have a treat in store for you.